Welcome back to Kinh Doanh 101, khởi nghiệp làm giàu. I'm your host, Thuy Phan. There's no doubt it takes a lot of courage to invest in a business that you don't know will work or not. After all, the statistics on new businesses surviving past the 3-year mark is dismal. But sometimes with the right idea, timing, and luck, you might just build something bigger than you could ever have imagined.
Now that I'm talking about it, I was surprised I'm still alive.
Those are the words of Denny Lee, one of the co-owners or leaves of the famed 7Leaves Cafe's thoughts on what the early days of starting their business meant. Holed up in the shop that would become home to the first 7Leaves Cafe in Westminster, the brothers and partners toiled to create the recipes that you now know and love.
After we all quit, we picked up the key to the store and we walled it all up with newspaper. We walled up the window of the newspaper, and we spent 8 months inside that store just working on the recipe. So this is a piece that shocks everybody. Right when we got the key, at that point in time, we had no recipes. We had no idea how to even start, but we simply had a concept. And the concept was just traditional coffee, traditional tea. And I still remember it was literally 6 days a week, 8 to 10 hours a day. We're sitting there in this dark little noodle shop, sipping tea, sipping coffee, drinking sugar, drinking flavors. It's just a massive amount of ingredients, and everybody was going home highly caffeinated. But we took 8 months of just experimenting, trial and error. Even after we opened the store, we changed the recipe a few times here and there because of customers' feedback. So it was a constant trial and error. And then finally, we were able to kind of stamp it. And that is what the menu is today.
With the word of their drink spreading, business picked up and they were soon able to open a second location.
The biggest piece that we saw was if you wanted coffee, around our communities, there's really just either the Vietnamese style cafes, and then there's Starbucks. Aside from that, there weren't many in between. So we figured, let's just see if we can create something different where it can serve both types of clientele. The older generations of Asians and the younger generations as well. So that's how we kind of came about the concept, and we felt that that was missing within our area.
They listened to customer feedback of wanting space to hang out and included that in their search for their second store.
I usually come here with friends to just hang out and stuff.
I have been to 7Leaves, I would say about 50 times.
We're excited to come and check it out, and I was just so surprised about how big it was inside, how so many different people were utilizing the environment. It looks like a lot of students are here even studying, people are visiting, and just a really nice environment.
It took a while for us to figure out what our audience was and how to find locations. It literally took a good few years just for us to kind of dial in the type of clientele that we had. And it's primarily, so I guess on the location side, we now do have a formula in which we look for locations. We have a list of criteria that we would look in based upon demographics, age range, proximity to, let's say, so close proximity to schools or freeways or whatnot. So we do have a few criteria that now we look for in order to kind of rank the stores that we have. Is it like a number one? Is this store a 10 out of 10, 5 out of 10? And from there we decide, okay, what is the location with the least amount of risk that we can take.
This is beyond what Nguyen and his family could have hoped for.
Did I ever think that we would be here today at that day? No, not at all. The very first day that we opened our very first store, we all talked amongst ourselves and said, as long as this store breaks even, and we don't have to inject any additional capital, and the store runs, and we're still here, happily, healthy, that's really all that we wanted. So I would have never been able to guess that we would be brave enough to even open more than one store. And then the second came, the third came, and so on and so on. And so to today, none of us actually believed that this was what was this is the level of success that a simple 7Leaves cafe could become.
So how did they create a business now being dubbed as the Asian Starbucks? Through hard work, luck, and also a bit of risk. Risk that involves quitting their jobs in corporate America in search of the American dream.
We all quit and then we did this. So we literally, I still remember the very first day when Kwang approached me about the concept, and he told me, let's do this. Let's go 100% all hearts in. So right after that, 2 days later, I put in my 2 weeks notice. We figured, if you're gonna do it, you go all the way. And if you fail, just pick yourself up and start over. And that was a very common theme amongst us, constantly reminding ourselves, we can always start over, we can always start over. And that kind of gave us that confidence to just quit cold turkey and just, let's do this. And so we did.
All brothers worked in the store from front of the house to back of the house, and they even made their own furniture.
We all did everything. Everybody wore every single hat. But within each individuals, we had our own kind of knowledge and skills that kind of slowly started to kind of divide and move ourselves and start taking off certain hats while permanently wearing certain hats. And that really didn't happen until about 3-4 years into the business. As with the business, as it gets bigger, it gets more complex. That's when we realized, okay, it's time that we need to kind of designate positions, departments, or roles, just to have role clarity.
Today, 7Leaves Cafe has multiple locations or expanding outside of the Vietnamese community and also Southern California.
We have about 500 employees overall, including the headquarters side. So 11 open, and then we do have about 4 more that are being built right now. So hopefully by the end of the year, we'll hit the 15 mark.
Franchising is on the horizon, as well as potentially taking their brand global. Not bad for a band of brothers that spent 8 months perfecting their recipes in the back of an old noodle shop. Would they do anything differently? Not a thing.
All the mistakes and everything that we made, and all the little things that we did here and there, even if it's right or wrong, we felt that it kind of built the solid foundation for us to be where we are and to continue to grow at the rate that we're growing. I would not change anything. I think everything went as well as it could be, and would not change, or would not even try to come back and strategize a different direction.
For them, this is just the beginning. As entrepreneurs themselves, these are the words that they have to offer to the new class of entrepreneurs who are thinking of starting their own business.
Find a reason, find a want, find the reason why you want to start the business, and hold on to it. Just hold on to it, and just find a confidence and any external reference that you can in order to kind of build that confidence and just go for it. The biggest piece for me is just to stick to your guns. If you have a reason and you have the value and you have the wants, make sure those are the ones that are, and it can be anything, to be honest. It could be, I just want to be a billionaire, or I just want to give back, or I just want to help. Regardless of the reason, to me, is as long as you have the motivation and the want, and you truly believe in and hold on to it, success can come in many ways. And one of the biggest phrases that I always like to say is, hard work does pay off, as long as you're true to the work that you're trying to do.
Whether you decide to open up a restaurant or nail salon or other small business, it's good to start with a business plan and a realistic understanding of why you want to start this endeavor. There are risks involved, but if you're ready to take that next step, figuring out your business legal structure will help you form your next move. Join us next week to find out where you can go for help and find out how one entrepreneur is changing the way we look at doing nails while we're browsing for new clothes at the mall. Until next time, we'll see you then.